The Toronto Maple Leafs find themselves in a rare window of opportunity, with a legitimate chance to finally claim the elusive Stanley Cup. The team is at a stage where every decision can mean the difference between a memorable season and one that ends in frustration. That's why the recent speculation of a blockbuster trade involving New York Islanders captain Anders Lee cannot be ignored. This potential deal, widely discussed in the hockey world and highlighted on Heavy.com, has Leafs fans buzzing with anticipation. The scenario proposed by Puck GM, a trade simulation tool from Puckpedia, suggests that the Leafs would send defensive center David Kampf, young forward Nick Robertson, and a 2026 first-round pick to the Islanders in exchange for Anders Lee, with New York retaining $2 million of Lee's salary. If completed, this trade could put Toronto in an even stronger position, not just this season but for the future as well. What would Anders Lee bring to the Leafs? Anders Lee, 33, brings much more than impressive statistics. With 10 goals and 19 points in 25 games this season, he shows he is a consistent offensive threat. But beyond the numbers, Lee is a natural leader, qualities that would make him a valuable addition to the Leafs lineup. He could bring experience and a winning mindset, two things Toronto needs to make that final push toward the cup. Lee's contract, which is in the sixth year of a 7-year, $49 million deal, could be a significant factor. While it is a substantial commitment, the fact that the Islanders are willing to retain $2 million of his salary means that the financial burden on Toronto would be lighter, making the trade even more appealing. With salary cap space already tight, any relief in that area is a big deal. The Islanders' perspective and the players involved. For the Islanders, this trade proposal could be an opportunity to rethink and restructure their lineup. David Kampf, a reliable defensive center, is known for his penalty-killing ability and solid play in key situations. He would be a valuable asset for the Islanders' coaching staff, adding depth to their forward core. Additionally, Nick Robertson, despite a slow start this season, still has untapped potential that the Islanders could develop. At just 23 years old, Robertson could represent the future of the team if he finds consistency in his game. The 2026 first-round pick is a big draw for the Islanders. With an eye on a rebuild, this pick could become a cornerstone for the franchise's future. Adding young assets like Kampf and Robertson would give the Islanders a head start in building a competitive team for the near future. Nick Robertson, the young forward situation. Nick Robertson has been one of the most talked about names in Toronto, both for his potential and his struggles. The young prospect, once seen as one of the Leafs' most exciting talents, has yet to cement his place in the main roster. His inclusion in the trade proposal signals that the Leafs may be ready to part with him, acknowledging that a change of scenery might be best for his development. NHL analyst Edward Ng makes an important point: if Robertson can't produce offensively soon, a new environment might be beneficial for both sides. This trade, therefore, is not just about immediate value, it's a strategic move that could benefit all parties involved. Lee's impact on the Maple Leafs. If Lee is acquired, he would bring a physical and charismatic presence that the Leafs might need to compete against physical and intense playoff opponents. With his health improving after a period of ups and downs in recent years, Lee has the potential to return to the form he showed in his best seasons. This could give Toronto a player who not only scores goals but also leads by example and motivates his teammates. Moreover, Lee's impact would not be limited to the ice. His experience in high-pressure situations and his ability to perform in crucial moments could inspire other players on the team to elevate their game. In the pursuit of the Stanley Cup, having players who can handle pressure is crucial. The right time for the trade? It's important to consider that if this trade goes through, the Leafs would be taking a calculated risk. Adding Lee could make a difference, but it could also represent a significant financial and adaptation challenge for the team. The balance between the urgency to win now and the need to build a sustainable team for the future is a dilemma that Kyle Dubas and the Leafs management must consider. The potential trade for Lee could also send a message to other NHL teams that Toronto is serious about going all in and doing whatever it takes to finally break the barrier that has kept them from winning the Stanley Cup since 1967. It's a bold move, but one that is necessary for a team that can't afford to wait another year. Conclusion: hope and expectation. For Maple Leafs fans, the speculation of a trade for Anders Lee brings a mix of excitement and anxiety. The idea of seeing an experienced and talented player like Lee wearing the Leafs jersey is thrilling. On the other hand, the loss of young prospects and draft picks is always a tough pill to swallow. But ultimately, when you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, the dream is to see the team reach glory. If this trade is the path to the Stanley Cup, so be it. The hope of seeing the Leafs lift the trophy in the near future is what keeps us believing and cheering. As the trade remains uncertain, we, the fans, can only watch the details unfold and hold on to the hope that maybe, just maybe, the next chapter of our long and anxious wait is about to begin. The addition of Anders Lee would likely shift the dynamics within the Maple Leafs lineup, potentially elevating them into the upper echelon of cup contenders. With his ability to play in all situations, whether on the power play, penalty kill, or in critical late-game scenarios, Lee would bring versatility that Toronto has been seeking. His physical style and leadership could make him the type of player who thrives under playoff pressure, adding a new layer of depth and resilience to the team. The Toronto management has shown a willingness to make bold moves in recent years, but this proposed trade would mark one of the most significant in recent memory. Kyle Dubas, the team's general manager, has been strategic in shaping the Leafs roster, but adding a player like Lee would signal that Toronto is not just looking to compete but to dominate. It could be the type of move that reinvigorates the fan base and sends a message to the rest of the NHL. The Leafs are ready to contend for the ultimate prize. Lee's leadership off the ice is just as important as his contributions on it. As the captain of the Islanders, he has experienced the highs and lows of a team striving for playoff success. His experience navigating difficult seasons and leading through adversity could help guide the Leafs' younger stars, such as Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, who are no strangers to pressure but could benefit from the wisdom of a seasoned veteran. For players like John Tavares, who once captained the Islanders himself, the potential addition of Lee could create an intriguing dynamic. The two players share a history, having played together on the Islanders, and Lee's presence could further strengthen Tavares' leadership group. The chemistry between them, combined with Tavares' own experience, would create a solid leadership core that could elevate the entire team's mentality. However, it's not just about leadership, it's about what Lee can add to the scoring lineup. His ability to create space in front of the net and finish plays around the crease would be an asset to Toronto's offensive strategy. The Leafs have struggled with their net front presence at times, and Lee's physicality would add a new threat that opposing defenses would have to account for. The added depth could make Toronto's power play even more dangerous, creating more scoring opportunities for their elite playmakers. The question for fans and analysts alike is whether Lee can adapt to the Leafs system. While he has proven himself as a reliable top-six forward on Long Island, the transition to a team with different structures and strategies can be challenging. The coaching staff, led by Sheldon Keefe, would need to integrate him seamlessly, leveraging his strengths while helping him acclimate to Toronto's fast-paced style. On the flip side, Toronto's potential loss of Robertson, Kampf, and the first-round pick is significant. Robertson, despite his inconsistent start, still represents potential. His scoring touch and determination are assets that any team would want to develop. The departure of Kampf, a key defensive forward known for his penalty-killing prowess, could leave a void in the Leafs' defensive depth. The first-round pick, while a gamble, could be the foundation of the Islanders' future, making it a bittersweet element of the deal. Yet, in the high-stakes world of the NHL, teams must be willing to make sacrifices for a chance at glory. The Leafs have made it clear that they are not content with just making the playoffs or having a competitive regular season. The current core, led by Matthews, Marner, and Tavares, is at a point where winning now is paramount. Lee could be that piece that pushes them over the top and finally breaks the franchise's long championship drought.